Hello, 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 everyone out there. And hello, Jonathan. How are you this evening?
Hey, how you doing today? Good evening.
Hi, welcome to those who are tuning in to the Christine Love Show Season 2. Before we jump into our hot topics for this evening and what we're going to be discussing, I want to be a little transparent here. This wasn't scripted or something that even Jonathan knew that I was going to do, but I just really want to just express how important this show is to me. I mean, I don't really care if I have one viewer or two viewers or three viewers or 300. This really means a lot for me. And I don't think no one understands the setup, the lighting, the time that I put aside. You put aside, Jonathan, to come and do this with me, to ask people to come, stop what they're doing, come and talk with me and believe in my dream. Don't know what's going to happen. For now, I this could be a hobby, or it could be something that changes my life. But for now, I just want people to understand that this is not easy. It's Saturday night. Typically, I would be getting ready to go and hit the streets and me doing something else other than sitting at home, setting up lights and advertising and promos and stopping you from doing what you're doing because you support me and I love you for that. But just to stop everything to come and talk to people that probably don't give a damn on what we finna say, but it matters to me. And I want to say thank you for those people that are tuning in to just even hear what I have to say, to even bother or take time in their day to stop and listen to what we have to say. And I really appreciate you. And I thank you, Jonathan, for always being there and supporting me on no matter what I do. No.
Okay.
The violins are gone. So I just wanted to say that because, people just don't understand that this is not easy getting on here and just doing something for nothing, but for something, if that makes sense to anyone. All right, let's get going. So, like we talked about last week about Carlee Russell, and you did mention that was some serious mental shit going on. So now it has came out that allegedly, well, not even allegedly, it has been confirmed that Carlee Russell, it was some bullshit like we suspected. So before you comment, baby, I want to go ahead and play this right here.
Good afternoon. Earlier today, Hoover Police detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of Carlee Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait.
These two individual charges and look forward to bringing this case to fruition. One thing I would add is that we don't see this as a victimless crime. There are significant hours spent, resources expended as a result of this investigation. And not only that, but the many men and women who are civilians that wore those yellow vests on a hot afternoon and evening looking for someone they thought was abducted, trying to be of assistance.
All right. So we're live. So he came in here to tell me he couldn't hear what he was saying, but pretty much it's a lie. It was all a lie, and they're about to charge her ass with some serious charges. So did you check out the mugshot?
That's a nice mugshot.
That's a nice mugshot.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, should you think she'd be charged, or do you think they should tap her on the hand and say, go get some mental help?
Unfortunately, because of the amount of press that she got, I mean, she has to be charged with something.
Right.
I don't think now she should be charged, damn near released instantly on her own bond.
Right.
And then put on a light probation just so, justice has to look like it's being done. I mean, she didn't hurt anybody. She just cost the city some money.
Right.
You can bill her for whatever that's worth.
This ain't Georgia Power.
I don't. Well, they do that. First of all, prisoners get billed. They're not in jail just scot-free. They get charged some fees. Court fees aren't going to pay for police salaries.
Right.
So there's a severe bill.
Okay.
It has to be that. I mean, there should not be any jail time though. That's now if it's jail time, it's some bullshit on the city. They don't need to put her in jail.
Okay. Well, they want to make an example because there's copycat.
No, I don't need to make an example. Should be because when what you don't know, when other people do bullshit, they don't go to jail, and we write that shit off. So I don't think, in my opinion, she does not need to spend a day in jail. She needs to get charged and she needs to be put on probation. That's my opinion. And if anything, she also needs to get mandatory psychic evaluations and counseling.
We said that. So I think she should do at least 30 days to show her a lesson. That's me personally. I mean, it's too many Black women out here, or too many people in general, that are missing, and nobody got time for that. So she needs to be taught a lesson. Bill her 30 days in jail, and maybe she'll think about it. Because trust me, you don't want to spend a night in jail, especially at Rice Street. So 30 days, that'll teach her a lesson. Because she gets slapped on the hand with a fine, she'll probably never pay it. Go to collections. You already know how that goes. And that's it. She hasn't learned a lesson. That's my personal opinion. So, hey, I want to shout out some people that are tuned in. Hey, Charm. What up, Keisha? That's my coach, babe, who got on here and got me started on what I'm doing. On Sunday, Backyard Farmer. Okay. Thank you for joining us. And as we go, I will give my shout outs to those who come and check us out. So there we go. So I'm going to play the next thing we're going to talk about. And just to ensure that you can hear and that we're live, let's do it like this.
James was treated earlier this week for cardiac arrest, says he is now resting at home. A cardiologist says Bronny James was fully conscious when he arrived at the hospital after his health scare at USC's basketball practice, and doctors are now encouraged by his progress. LeBron James thanked everyone for their love and prayers today, saying, quote, "We have our family together, safe and healthy."
Now, do you know anything about this? I mean, they're being kind of hush-hush about it. What? I know he had a cardiac arrest, but they're not really saying from what. Any suspicions from you? You know, you and your thoughts on it.
No, I have no suspicions, but this is me being the type of person I am. If you remember from last week, we had a comment about Jamie Foxx. This is not my business. I don't need to know that he fell out. I'm not concerned about it. I don't think it's anybody's business. I mean, kids fall out. Did you hear about the kid that fell out at Tri-City football practice last week? No. Okay. You didn't need to. I don't need to hear about LeBron James' kid falling out. Because all it's going to do is what we're doing right now. Is going to make us say, hey, well, what's wrong with the boy? I mean, there's so much stuff that we could or couldn't know. Now, because they're putting out information that we really shouldn't know about, we got to sit here and think about what happened. Is he on coke? Is he on steroids? Does he have a heart condition that the doctor didn't know about until this happened?
True.
I don't know. Because all they did is spoon feed you a little bit of information, just enough for you to sit back and say, hey, I wonder what happened. Like, we need to give a damn.
I mean, we could give a damn.
Why?
I
mean, again, I don't have I hate that it's happened to the boy, but that's not my business. And I don't think this is like a waste, not to go against your opinion about the last case. Like, you feel like the person needs to go to jail. Okay, that's your opinion. That's fair. But it ties into, why do we need to debate about not you and me, but just in general. The
Right.
news gives us information and then puts us on some type of tailspin as to what we should or shouldn't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets in the way of what we ourselves need to do for ourselves, even if it's just a little bit.
Right. Okay.
So there's a little bit of thought that that we're thinking about LeBron James' son, who passed out temporarily at a basketball practice.
Mm.
And now we're figuring out what's wrong with him. We don't know. They know the answers, but they didn't tell you.
Right. It'll come out.
But it don't need to come out. It never should have came out to begin with.
I mean, it's LeBron James' son.
So what?
I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying. It's none of our business. But when you're in that type of industry, it is our business.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Right.
It really isn't.
Okay.
Did we know where LeBron James went on vacation last weekend or the week before that? Is that our business? Because should we celebrate the fact that he goes to the Hyatt Regency exclusive island and we should aspire to go to that island because LeBron James went there?
Good point. All right. Moving on. Next up, and this show seems to be catching a whole lot of heat. All of the people on the particular breakfast. So DJ Envy, whose real name is Rashawn Casey, is a well-known American DJ, radio personality, and television host, for those who don't know. He gained fame as one of the hosts of the popular morning radio show, The Breakfast Club, abilingside Angela Yee, who's not there anymore, and Charlamagne the God. Envy is also known for his talent for blending and mixing different generations of music, which has contributed to his popularity. So what they're saying and what's going on is several reports and social media posts have accused DJ Envy and his partner Pina of mismanaging clients' funds, failing to deliver on promises, and facing property foreclosure. Both Pina and DJ Envy have strongly denied these accusations, of course, asserting that they are victims of a smear campaign orchestrated by their competitors and disgruntled former employees. They claim that they have helped thousands of people achieve financial freedom through real estate investing and that they have nothing to hide. So, they're saying disgruntled former people on the show, like Angela Yee, she's not on there no more, that I believe. And they're beefing. Everybody's kind of beefing. So now, allegedly, DJ Envy has some stuff going on about him, I guess, stealing all kinds of, like he's into real estate and, ripping people off. Falk, you think facts, true, or as Jonathan, I don't care. You could say that about everything on this show.
Yeah, I think that's going to be just the
Let's open our minds.
But the question is, what do I think about it? It's funny how these stories all have a similar undertone of lacking relevant data to support whatever the story is. I heard what you read, but does the story have accounts of people saying these exact things, or this is just a whole bunch alleged, suspicious, maybe comments? I mean, if a guy defrauded me, I'll say, hey, my name is so and so defrauded me because of his financial lack of or false promises or mismanagement. I lost money because I was getting billed and didn't know I was getting billed because he was managing my account. And I didn't know until it was too late. Now, if someone says that, that's not a smear campaign. That's a fact.
I mean, I want to say it's a fact, but being that, like I stated, getting on here with trying to do all of this, get this together, have a life, and create a show, I think there's a lot more to it. I think there was some Rick Ross beef with, Joe Budden saying some things that made it seem true. And I think that he was arrested.
Okay, well,
so it's just what your thoughts on, he's saying it's not him, that it was, mistakenly, that it wasn't him. So,
well, just given what, if we're going to assume it's true, then my thoughts are he scammed people. I mean,
he's a scammer. You see him doing that.
You get scammed and you just nothing, to get to a point based on how involved you are. I guess the lesson to be learned is you got to be 100% involved in your financial situation, opposed to putting your trust in someone else and hoping they're going to come through what they promise. That goes for anybody.
Right.
Anybody in small business, anybody in partnership, anybody that's got a financial advisor. Don't get too comfortable with anybody handling your money to where you don't know all the details that surround the money you're kicking out.
Well, his excuse was, well, not excuse, was saying that the checks are coming and telling people to hold tight because of COVID. Now, COVID was what, 3 years ago?
No, that's bullshit. Because again, what am I holding tight for? You can't even say that with a straight face to anybody with half a brain who's going to say, well, show me the details of what you're talking about based on the structure of our contract. And your contract could be so screwed up that you're not realizing until after the fact. You say, hey, damn the contract, still show me the proof, because you can't tell me my check is in the mail. Not a grown adult. That works on like when you used to work at Wendy's and they might tell you the check is coming and you work for, a small franchise that's not doing well. They can tell you that lie because this your first job. You don't know. But not an adult. Especially when you're talking about thousands of dollars, if not millions.
Millions of dollars. So I just thought, and basically tonight is just anytime we do this particular hot topic, it's things that will be talking about on social media, and that's what I'm bringing up. It's not something that is on CNN. Oh, well, let me not say that. Some of this stuff is reaching CNN, but this is just your social media, Instagram, which you're not a big fan of. So here we are. All right, moving on. Next up, the Kardashians.
The Kardashian clan has opened up about her regret over getting a breast augmentation. She did it before she had a baby, and then the baby came. And she says that she really regrets that she did it. And she hopes that her daughter will not do such a thing. Now, this is to make...
I think that dissatisfaction with your outward appearance, it's always going to be there unless you learn to love yourself. I'm all for if you want to nip, tuck, and fix it because you're confident and you just want that change. But I think you first have to deal with like your inner beauty and what you think of yourself. And this...
Which I agree. We're going to go back. Sunday Backyard Farmer wanted to comment on the DJ Envy, thinking it was his partner who was the accused, who I think his name was Caesar and not DJ. So yeah. So pretty much, I think it's his partner that he's rolling with, and they're getting him all caught up because, he's investing. Side note, got some side stuff going on and not knowing that his partners are a little crooked. So I don't think it's personally. I just think he got his money in the wrong dealings. Thank you for that, Sunday Backyard Farmer.
Well, I think, even if that's the case, that doesn't get him off the hook, and he shouldn't be trying to talk like he's not involved. What I heard, the comment you said was, he thinks it's a smear campaign. When it sounds like he knows his partner was on some bullshit, and instead of saying, "Hey, we're going through some issues here. I'm investigating it as well. I'm going to get to the bottom of this mishap." That's not the stance he took. He's trying to blame everybody else without acknowledging what seems like something he does know, to try to, you still on some bullshit. If my partner's on some bullshit and I get caught up in my partner's bullshit, I'm not going to say it's some mysterious force out there that's doing it. I'm going to say, hey, I apologize. Looks like I got some in-house problems. We're working on it. And I'm going to do everything I can to fix it.
Right.
Something along those lines.
Right.
Instead of making up this enemy dark force that's floating around in the universe, like you don't know what's going on. So that again, just be real about it. People love to try to act like they on some real shit. Obviously,
right.
Somebody's not.
Thank you for that comment. Thank you. And jumping back to the Kardashians, the clip basically said that she was talking to her girlfriend on the show this last season episode, and she was saying that she will be heartbroken if her daughter did any breast augmentations or anything to her body, not feeling that she wasn't beautiful. Now, personally, every last one of them, I think, in the family has done some work, except the last one. Is that Kenner? I'm not sure. For the viewers out there, help me out. I think it's Kenner, who didn't do anything to her body. The rest of them, I digress. I love the Kardashians. I watched every episode, but it's just amazing how they transform, looking from one way to the next: skinny, thick, big butt, little butt, small waist, blonde hair, short hair, big nose, small nose. I mean, it's just a lot. And then to say you'll be heartbroken if your daughter does it, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't disagree with the mother said. I mean, in a healthy society or a healthy mind, you don't want your kids to do the bullshit you did. So that makes sense what she said. I mean, it makes sense that she said, "Hey, I did something, and I regret doing it." Makes sense to me. It's an admission on a side note that, hey, I've got some body images and personal issues that I'm dealing with, and I thought I could resolve it by going out and changing my body up, and I hate that I did the shit.
Okay.
I give her kudos for doing it.
Okay.
No one else. People act like they didn't have something done when they clearly did. They act like that's real. They woke up yesterday and fine all of a sudden. Like, damn, how that happen? Don't even acknowledge they did it.
Right.
And they walk around like they actually worked to gain those structural differences.
Right.
And then, so that's already, you got something going on up here. And then you get out of it because now I think in some cases it's trending not to do that anymore.
Right. The Blac Chyna.
So you act like you didn't do it to begin with. Then when you reverse it, you act like you're standing up for some strong belief. Well, I thought you never did it anyway. How you taking out something that you told me was yours to begin with?
Right.
So you never came back on that. But that's a whole other story. And regarding the Kardashian kid, I think that's a good thing she did. And I can understand where I think her point is coming from.
Okay, you kept it nice, because I really thought you were gonna go in, because I pretty much went in, but I love the Kardashian, but I just wish they would get some self-secureness. Am I saying that wrong? Their insecurities resolved, so that way they know that they're just beautiful just the way they are. That's so cliche, but
well, hell, how many people do you know that are 100% secure?
Not I, said the cat.
And then you give them hell, you give them 100,000, let alone a million, and see what happens. We're not going to get more secure over that.
Right. Okay, you're right. Moving on. I am so proud of this next story.
To be a police officer.
LMPD Chief Jacqueline Gwen Bioreal says she was inspired by episodes of The Lone Ranger and school visits from Officer Friendly. She remembers telling her parents.
And they were like, oh my God, I can't believe my daughter wants to be a police officer. Again, this is a male-dominated career. That's just, it is. And so they had that fear and anxiety like any parent would.
But Gwen Bioreal says they quickly became supportive and set her on a law enforcement career that has lasted 26 years and led her to Louisville.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
In the wake of Breonna Taylor's death and the social justice protests that ensued, she says she wants to change the narrative about LMPD and policing as a whole.
And we're doing that, and we're going to do better in those areas that some community members may have some doubt.
What do you want to say to those community members who have doubt?
Allow us to serve you. Allow us for us to show you the difference, to show us the change. And again, when we err, when we make those mistakes, understand that we're going to hold ourselves accountable just as well as you hold us accountable.
So she's a new police chief of Louisville. So first, let me say the comments that Somebody said, man, she about to lock up every nigga that did her wrong. The attitude. I said, man, we can't. As black people, we gotta stop. Like, they just went in on her. It's fine.
I didn't notice any. If anything, if she had an attitude, which I don't think she did, because they had her in that ridiculous studio. I mean, that's the chief of Louisville. They couldn't get her in a better filming situation. That was like in a closet of some sort. That's what she was mad about. Looked like it was hot too, but her eyebrows they did a pretty good job on eyebrows.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm super proud. 1, she's black. 2, a woman in Louisville. Woo, I lived there before. That is, it's tough out there. So they need someone's tough, but at the same time, it looked like she about to go in. How about that?
I don't see why anybody would say that about her. She didn't give any type of sign to me that she was an ass. She didn't give any type of sign that she was, trying to lay down the law and gonna crack. She was presentable. I mean, I think the problem is if anybody had that thought about that lady, they got issues themselves. They can't once again. They see a woman, a black woman who seems, I guess, because it didn't bother me. Apparently, she was too assertive for somebody watching the interview, and her assertiveness made them think that she's gonna start beating niggas up, and, put every black person in jail. Like, where the hell you get that from? The lady didn't say nothing about black folks to begin with. Now, somebody put that sound clip in about the we want justice. I don't know where that clip came from. I mean, was that from the Black Lives Matter campaign that happened a while back? And they just put that in? They couldn't show, a black officer taking a cat out the tree? They had to show that and then put her on top of it like she was the one manipulating that riot. I mean, what the hell? Come on, man.
It's saying that it's systemic from that she wanted to make a difference.
So they chose that clip. Now that was happening during the interview while she was in there getting interviewed. Then I got it. That was a live clip during a live interview. But if somebody back in the sound truck said, "Hey, we're gonna clip this in to her interview to make it seem like we're gonna connect the two stories," I mean, that's that again. You gotta watch that shit, man. That is political influence. It's subversive. It's got whoever you were talking to making comments about how she gonna lock up everybody. See how they do that? They slick, man. If you don't recognize how slick these people are, you fall.
Who is they? Man. Who is they? That. Who is they?
No, they. They the same people that stormed the Capitol and got off on it.
Gotcha. Moving on. Oh my God, this hurt my heart. This hurt my heart, babe. Like, seriously.
Career. George.
Okay, thank you. Sinead O'Connor had a beautiful voice, but her life was sometimes ugly. She spoke about being beaten by her mother as a young girl. She was later diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar disorder. O'Connor lost a son to suicide and acknowledged her own suicidal thoughts. She was controversial, outspoken, unapologetic, and talented. Sinead O'Connor hit it big in 1990 with a cover of Prince's song, Nothing Compares to You. She wrote about Prince in her 2021 autobiography, Rememberings. The Irish singer-songwriter called it the best chapter in the book.
He took me to the house, or got me to go to his house, and he started telling me that I mustn't swear in my interviews and I must talk like this and talk like that. And of course, being Irish, I told him how he could take a long walk down a short pier. And that didn't go down very well. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want.
And sometimes she did. O'Connor shaved her head, and she spoke out about issues. Lyrics in some of her songs dealt with child abuse, police brutality, sexism, and religion. In an appearance on Saturday Night Live in 1992, she famously did this to a photo of then Pope John Paul II.
Fight the real enemy.
O'Connor said it was a statement protesting child sex abuse in the Catholic Church. In 2021, she told the New York Times she was not sorry she did it, but it became open season on her being treated like a crazy person.
Everybody wanted me to be a pop star, and I felt I was a protest singer.
O'Connor said she was proud to be a troublemaker. The year she won a Grammy, the Washington Post says she boycotted the ceremony, saying awards were based on false and destructive materialistic values. In 2018, she converted to Islam. And on Facebook, just 2 weeks ago, she wrote she was finishing up her next album for release early next year.
So clearly, I mean, of course, depression happens. Rest in peace, Sinead O'Connor. Depression happens and doesn't mean, oh, because you were getting ready to drop an album in 2 weeks that you said, you know what, I won't do it just yet. Let me just wait till my album drop. So I don't want to make fun of that and say that that's what she did, is committed suicide, but they still don't have an answer. And like you said, it's nobody's business, but this is damn near an icon, and people want answers.
An answer to what? What's the question?
How did she die? They still don't know how she passed
said it was
away.
Suicide.
No.
Oh.
Who said that?
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was a suicide. I thought it was a suicide.
No, they still not saying. I mean, I think it's of a broken heart. You know, her son died a year ago, 17.
She just died. Just woke up. Someone just found her in her house dead, and her heart was in half or something.
You do know medically that they have said that you can die of a broken heart.
Yeah, that'd be depression.
Okay, but I'm just saying, literally, your heart, not the depression is part of it, will literally stop.
But it stops because of your mind.
Medically,
it's not like if you're healthy and your heart stops, is because of your mindset. Like, you can make your heart rate increase or decrease by how you think and feel. Your heart just doesn't do it without you either consciously or subconsciously making it react. When you get excited, that's a mental reaction, and then your heart rate will increase. If you get down, you can make yourself get sleepy because you're down in the dumps. So you're implying that, I think we're saying the same thing. If she died of a broken heart, she died because she was depressed. The guy said it in the thing. She somehow had post-traumatic syndrome.
Yeah.
And she also was bipolar. So she had a bad cocktail of mental issues going on.
Bad cocktail.
So she was on a time bomb as it was. Then her son took his life. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to handle. If you're not in a strong state going into something that serious.
Yeah.
You ain't. The odds are not in your favor. You're gonna get stronger because of that massive loss. So
yeah, that was super, super sad. But speaking of, your heart beating fast, and I literally, like today when I saw that fox and when I was walking, and me and the fox were eye in eye.
That fox. You speak as if everyone knows what you're talking about.
A fox, an animal, a fox. I was walking.
But what happened? Where did you see a fox?
I was walking in the neighborhood, and I saw a fox, and the fox looked at me, and I looked at him, and he was close proximity, and my heart, I started sweating. I could have died. Like,
you could have died.
No, seriously, my heart. You kept talking about just make it to the house, just walk.
Oh, you said
walk.
Right. Because of your mental state, your heart rate was about to jump out your chest. I got you.
I wasn't doing that on my own because you said it's a mind thing. My heart literally.
I said consciously or subconsciously is what I said.
Oh, I didn't hear subconsciously because
that's what
subconsciously my heart and I made it, y'all. Apparently, I'm here, but the fox, it wanted to get me,
but yet it didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. This is the last of my list that I thought was, some closure to the Michael Williams, the actor from The Wire.
Has been sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Federal prosecutors say Carlos Macy was part of a 4-man crew that sold drugs in Brooklyn, including the drugs that claimed the actor's life in Brooklyn in 2021. During yesterday's sentencing, Williams' nephew recommended compassion for the defendant. And David Simon, the co-creator of the TV show The Wire, wrote a letter to the judge a few weeks ago pushing for leniency in the sentencing.
Leniency.
So they caught the guy that sold the heroin to the guy,
right?
And the guy that wrote The Wire
family
wrote a letter to say, "Hey, don't go that hard on the guy."
That sounds like a drug addict too, don't it?
It may be his damn drug dealer.
That's what I said.
Well, I'm not saying that. I just
allegedly.
One of the guys. I mean, you're dealing heroin, bro. So that ain't nothing to mess with. I mean, that's not a party drug, there, buddy. I don't know anybody who knows anything about drug use, but you just don't. That's not something to play with. You can't part-time do heroin. You can mess around with some coke. You can play with that. You can play around with marijuana, and I guess you can play around with pills. But heroin, that's a whole nother monster.
That's a whole nother. Hey, Terica. Yes, leniency. That's what you're referring to.
I'm not. But, at the end of the day, he should be treated like anybody else. Whatever the standards are, if they take race out the equation, which is damn near impossible, but if they just do with a regular, hey, this is what you did, this is what you're going to get unless you got some type of something going on. That's just what it is, man. I don't think he should be punished more because one of his junkies died on it.
Right. But murder is murder.
That's a farce. What people are saying, the drug dealer made the junkie take the dope.
Right.
Nah. A 4-man crew. All they had, everybody had their hand on the heroin when he bought it. It was 5 hands. 4 dealers and 1 junkie, and all touch it at the same time. How you run that charge?
Well, Terica says, so this brings me to think that these letter writers use this drug dealer, just like what we said.
Yeah, maybe because if he gets arrested, he can start flipping and turning to reduce his sentence. Hey, he might not make it out of there.
Right. She says she's with you, Terica. So let me go back to this comment because did you have your dog with you when you saw the fox? Thank you. Somebody's concerned. No, because thank God, because I'm gonna let John.
Thank God, because it wouldn't have helped.
Thank God, because he believes it's the same fox, and I'm gonna let you share that little quick story about my dog Carter and the fox when you went to take him out to use the restroom.
Yeah, he's scared. His heart rate increased just as much as yours did.
What happened?
We were outside using the bathroom.
Both of y'all?
Well, yes, I said you asked. I wasn't ever going to tell you that.
Now it makes sense. That's why the damn fox, see?
But while my back was turned and I was doing what I was doing,
one or
Carter
two
was doing what he was doing.
Number 1 or number 2? Don't ask.
Number 2, of course. I was doing number 2.
I seen something out there, and it didn't look like it didn't look like Carter. Something Carter would do.
Huh?
Go ahead.
So it was like 4:30 in the morning, and we were both relieving ourselves. And while my back was turned, I heard a ruckus and I turned to see my 75-pound dog running from a 25-pound fox at full speed, running at me like I was going to do something.
Oh, you weren't going to protect the dog?
I was busy. I couldn't do anything.
Oh, number 2. That's right. Do take a lot.
I wasn't doing number 2, just for the record.
Okay. All right.
So he being the dog ran back into the garage, and the fox stood at the end of the driveway looking at both of us like, what's up? And I simply walked back into the garage and we went inside.
Yeah. You took a shower too. I think now that makes sense at 4:30 in the morning why you took a shower, because you did all that in the yard. Yeah. All of this makes sense.
I like to stay clean, so.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you so much. But no, Carter wasn't with me, thank God, but I believe that was the same fox. And that's it, babe. We got through it. It was last minute putting stuff together, but I didn't want to disappoint.
You always do. You got through it. Made it happen. We're going to keep going. Who knows? I care, you care, and at the end of the day, that's what it is, and we're going to keep showing up. And thanks to my viewers for coming and just hanging with us. Of course, I'm going to continue to have my guests, but as my co-host is going to come on here and have my back whenever, I can't, get through or pull through, or people like kind of switch up on me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Until next Saturday, the Christine Love Show. Come on back and join us. We'll see you then. Good night. Good night. I'm sorry. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay tuned.